And so what I'll do is have you rehearse certain movements so you know what I'm talking about when I use the words. First thing is to bring your legs together. We want your heels, ankles, and the big joint of the big toes all to touch. And in that shape, you're going to be doing feet down, toes down, and so forth. The movement to rehearse right now is one of keeping your heels together but turning your toes so your toes point outward, everted.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Heels remain touching continuously as you steer the pointing of your feet gradually outward. I'm not addressing feet down, toes up or anything. I'm just rehearsing a leg movement right now with you.
All right.
The heels touch continuously. That means you need to squeeze to keep them in contact as you turn. I'm looking to see the toes point outward. That's it. Notice what you have to do in order to keep your heels touching as you turn.
Yep.
Okay. And then the movement, of course, is slowly outward and then slowly back inward. So that's a symmetrical movement. The next part of the action is to engage your psoas muscles at the same time. The psoas muscles are instrumental in turning your feet toes outward because they attach behind the place where they cross over the pubic ramus and dive into the place on the lesser trochanters. That's the inner thigh surface up near where the joint is. So to keep those psoas muscles engaged, we do a little artifice, a device, which is to lift your head enough that it makes your legs want to lift also. It's not a big lift, it's a small, subtle lift of the head, just to take the weight off the back of the head.
I see.
And then, keeping heels touched, turn your toes outward. And then when you're outward, press your head down, chin in, heels touch, toes coming together. The psoas muscles have to go slack to turn the toes straight forward. And so we eliminate the action of tightening the front of you, which is a way of tightening your front so that your back would tend to flatten, requiring your psoas muscles to lengthen. That makes sense yet?
Yeah.
So when you press your head down, you're doing the opposite action.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me try this a few times on my own.
All right. And just do it in that general way, and then we'll bring in the feet positions first, before doing the next set of turns. You may notice that the right and left sides don't feel quite the same.
This is, yes, I do feel.
Now this move will cultivate a progressive matching up of the two sides.
I feel the difference in the sides coming directly from how my spinal cord seems uneven. It's no longer feels twisted, but it feels really twisted, but it feels like it's bent out of shape, you know. Like it's warped.
So by keeping your feet in similar positions and turning your legs simultaneously, you'll be introducing a symmetrical force emanating from the legs all the way to the spine where the psoas muscles attach. So I'm going to be teaching this to you in stages because it'd be just a pile on if I gave it to you all at once. So you tell me when you're ready, and we'll do a set with feet down, toes down. Heels touch. Hmm?
I'm ready now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm ready now. Feet down, toes down.
Okay, so bring your heels, ankles, and big toe joints in contact. And then,
like so?
I don't think your ankles are touching, are they?
Can they touch in this position?
The ankle bones, those intermalleoli, that will cause your feet to want to be parallel to the same plane. Yeah, that's
it. It's kind of strange. I have this really strong aversion to wanting to touch the those bones together. It's like they just don't want to, and it feels so weird.
Ah, so well, the cat's out of the bag.
Any advice for that?
Yeah, override it.
And even so, I'm not sure. I don't know if I can really touch them.
That's right. At the beginning, you may not be able to.
This is, I think, as close as I can get.
That's all right. See, as you practice this, you maintain the intent that your starting position is those three places touching. If you can't get to it, you can't get to it, but the intention is to get to it.
I see.
Okay, so when you are ready, get yourself into starting position, working position. I should have said this at the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, start your nervous systems.
All right, so I'm here.
Okay, lift your head enough. Yeah, feet down, toes down. Lift your head enough that it makes you tighten the front, and this is where your psoas muscles get activated. And then as you turn, keep the heels touching. Right now you've drifted apart. That's right. And we're just going apart. Now we're not straightening forward yet.
Okay, I'm sorry, I need to rest my neck a little.
Is your brain short-circuiting? Is that what's happening?
No, I need to rest my neck. It's kind of strange lifting it up like this because it feels the asymmetry in my neck bone becomes very prominent.
Yeah, right. So that's what these symmetrical patterns will reveal, your asymmetries. That's also why I said you don't need to lift your head much. If you just decrease the pressure on your scalp, that's sufficient.
Okay, so I'm here.
Yeah, not yet. The head is the last to lift because it's the first to fatigue. Get your legs in position first. Get your 3-point of contact, heel, ankle, and big toe joint. Then lift your head a little bit as you turn, toes out, heels still touching. That's it. Now you let your head down. See, it wasn't that much time. Now press and hold your head down a little bit and return your feet to touching each other. Ankles too, if you can. Just approximate it. And that was a full cycle. So now you know how to do it well enough to do a couple by yourself?
Yeah.
So
yeah, this really is bringing into light all the asymmetry and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. The good news is you'll get favorable changes even if you don't do the movement in the intended form. You're approaching the intended form. Remember to get your head pressing and keep that pressure even as you turn your legs. You may notice you kind of forget to maintain constant pressure with your head one way or the other. So you cultivate constancy of that action. So naturally, you say when you're ready.
Just getting a few shifts there.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, here we go.
Okay. When you're ready.
Ready.
So now we bring in our old friend, the wing waggle. And I'll show you a couple of connections here. Let's just start with one leg for learning purposes. You bring your toes together, and then as you turn, which leg you're going to turn? I need to use the right. Left will be turning out. That means that if you press down with your right elbow and lift with the left, that will assist turning the left out. So experiment with that. Notice how that combination works. You tell me when you've gotten the point.
Yeah, I got one.
Now do the other leg a few times to get a corresponding experience. So you notice that the wing waggle that helped one leg turned out, helped the other leg turn in.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing an integration here. Now that you've gotten the point on that, deliberately cause the turned out leg to turn in by using its form of the wing waggle, just one leg at a time. So turning the left leg in, left elbow down, right elbow lift. Okay, and now comes the fun part, which is combining that with lifting your head or pressing down with your head.
Question.
Yes.
Do I just lift and press my one arm once, or do I do it alternating?
Well, you see, you anticipated the next step. The next step, which was the culmination of the pattern, would be to do sets of threes with the wing waggle. And that sets of threes will much more rapidly establish an integration pattern between all of the movements, the legs, the shoulders, the head.
Okay. So let's start the walkthrough.
Okay, so let's have you bring your feet together. And then as you turn the toes out, you're going to alternate the wing waggle to help alternate legs turn, both turning outward.
And just toes pointed straight outward.
Well, the feet down, toes down is the starting position.
Okay, so I'm here.
Okay, and then as you begin to turn your feet everted, the down push with the opposite elbow helps the leg turn outward. So you alternate which shoulder is helping which leg, or which arm shoulder movement is helping which leg turn out.
Like so?
Yeah, and then once you're in the out position, you use the lifting action to help turn the legs in sets of 3s.
Like so?
Not quite, because you're not matched up yet. Your feet are still turned out somewhat.
Yeah, I'm just asking if the technique is.
You get the hang of it now?
Yeah, I get the hang of it.
Okay, you ought to practice that a while until you get used to coordinating those movements, and then you bring the head movements into play. So when your feet are turning outward, your head is pressing down, and when your feet are turning inward, your head is lifting up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you ever get confused, you do the two variations deliberately to sort out which does what.
So you said that it could be feet down, toes down,
Mm-hmm.
and also feet down, toes up, and so on.
Yeah, that's right. You do a set with the foot positions in each position. And generally you'll start feet down, toes down, feet down, toes up, toes up, and then feet down, toes up, and feet down, toes down. So you start at some pattern, go to the opposite, and return to the starting pattern.
About that. Feet up, toes up, feet down, toes up, and then feet down, toes up.
Well, I think if you experimented, you discover there's a logical order. Generally, feet down, toes up prepares you for feet up, toes up.
I see.
Well, you've done enough to have created a change that can be felt when standing. So may I suggest you test the result here?
Sure.